Welcome. On this occasion I will analyze the action-adventure novel, The Judas Strain, written by American author James Rollins, and originally published on July 2nd, 2007. The version I enjoyed reading is a Harper Fiction paperback edition, with a cover featuring embossing and gloss, a motherly, long read, presented with some images of the plot, events, author's notes, and acknowledgments. A book that readers will enjoy in the long run. With a preview of the Devil Colony. The Judas Strain represents a pivotal moment in James Rollins' long-running Sigma 4 series. As the fourth installment, it is the book where Rollins firmly establishes his signature formula, a breakneck blend of high-concept modern science, French history, esoteric theology, and techno-thriller action. If we pay attention at the macro structure of the series, this is the novel where the overarching war between Sigma Force, the fictional DARPA division of scientists turned commandos, and their shadow corporate mirror, the Guild, shifts from a series of isolated skirmishes into a deeply personal global conflict. Rollins structures the novel around three distinct, alternating narratives that eventually collide in Southeast Asia. This multi-POV approach keeps the pacing incredibly fast, though it occasionally strains structural cohesion. Commander Gray Pierce is forced into an uneasy alliance with Seishan, a deadly guild assassin who previously tried to kill him, together with the recurring duo of Monsignor Vigor Verona and Rachel Verona. They trace the 1293 voyage of Marco Polo. History records that Polo left China with 14 ships and 600 men, but arrived in Venice with only 2 ships and 18 survivors. Rollins fills this historical blind spot with a terrifying explanation. Polo's fleet encountered an ancient primordial plague in the Indian Ocean. A horrific flesh-scorching marine outbreak begins wiping out wildlife and infecting humans, causing cognitive degradation and ravenous, cannibalistic hunger. A luxury cruise liner converted into a World Health Organization floating research station is seized by guild terrorists. This section plays out like a classic Die Hard movie on a cruise ship scenario, balancing medical mystery with tactical survival. Director Painter Crowe deals with security breaches, institutional betrayal, and the realization that a high-level mole has compromised Sigma's communication lines, raising the stakes of the field mission. Rollins is at his best when he bridges the gap between historical mystery and speculative biology. The Judas Strain, the titular organism, is a hyper-evolved bacterium that acts as a genetic catalyst. Rather than simply killing its host, it targets a symbiotic balance of ecosystems, rewriting friendly viruses and bacteria into lethal pathogens. It exploits the concept of bacterial lysogeny, where a virus inserts its genetic material into a host's DNA. Rollins uses his background as a veterinarian to ground the epidemiology in plausible terms before dialing the thriller elements up to 11. Especially by introducing a symptom where neurological inflammation triggers an insatiable metabolic drive toward cannibalism. The puzzle mechanics tie Marco Polo's lost journey to the language of the angels, Enochian script, and the ancient Hindu-Buddhist architecture of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Rollins treats the ancient temples not just as spiritual sites, but complex macro-scale machines built by antiquity to isolate, map, and contain the ancient biothread. The synergy between the layout of Angkor Wat and the structural geometry of the virus itself is classic Rollins puzzle craft. From a series standpoint, the Judas strain is highly regarded by fans because it heavily alters the status quo of the core ensemble. This book cements the enemies to uneasy allies, tension that defines the central romantic arc of the franchise. The psychological friction between Gray's rigid moral code and Seichen's pragmatic survivalist ruthlessness provides the strongest character work in the book. The novel officially integrates Joe Kowalski into Sigma Force, originally a generic military grunt from Rollins' standalone novel Ice Hunt from 2003. Kowalski is utilized here as a comic relief and a brilliant foil to the hypergenius protagonists. Because he lacks PhD, his blunt, common-sense observations often break through the overcomplicated scientific jargon of his peers. Without spoiling the specific resolution, the final act in Cambodia features a massive tactical shift and an emotional sacrifice that permanently impacts the team dynamics moving into subsequent books, like The Last Oracle. The Judas strain is arguably the book where James Rollins perfected his literary identity. It strikes a highly entertaining balance between a historical treasure hunt and a terrifying outbreak scenario for readers tracking the long-term evolution of Sigma Force. It is an essential pillar that establishes character relationships and mythological stakes that echo through the rest of the series.